Hello everyone, Magdalena here, Wolf of Coins. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we will talk about how Slavic people went about divination before Christian times, around 12th century. There might have been more, and most probably was, but we're basing our knowledge on medieval chronicles written by Christians such as Titma, Adam of Bremen, Helmoldus or Saxo Grammaticus. So it's pretty certain that our knowledge is incomplete. I will be talking mostly about northwestern Slavs because the annalists wrote quite a bit about the temples and priests there of Arkona, Retra or Szczecin. So the priests performed various rituals to learn the will of the gods, but also like more regular people for sure did divination as well. I will mostly talk about what we know about divination done by priests, but also a little bit about regular people. And it can give you like an idea of how those things were done. So let's start with number one. Horse divination. This might be hard to do at home. However, it was popular among Slavic people and also Germanic and Baltic tribes. So I have some pretty horse pictures here, so I will be showing them. These are paintings by Andrzej Nowak-Zempliński. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we have beautiful horses here. So horses were very important to Slavic people. Even if you look, this is a replica of the idol from Zbruch, and it has a horse here on this side. And it's the only animal presented here, actually. So horses were very important. They were believed animals that can foretell future for you. They were kept in the temples as sacred animals of the resident god, such as Svantevit or Świętowit. It was a white horse, or a Triglav or a Trigłów, a black horse. Okay, so the horse belonged to the god. So either absolutely no one could ride it, or only the designated priest that took care of the horse. And the god was known to ride the horse himself some nights, because according to legends, some mornings the horse was all covered in sweat and foam, and mud, even though it seemingly never left the stable. The importance of the horse divination was so great that with time, the word for horse, żreb or zrebi, came to mean fate as well. And then it kept up meaning even when the word for horse changed into something else. All Slavic tribes are said to be known for visiting famous temples to ask for advice through divination. So, when you want to foretell the result of the upcoming battle or war, these were like the most important topics that were described in the chronicles. I'm sure there were also other questions there, but that's what the chroniclers wrote about. So we know that for sure. So you need to put a beautiful gold or silver covered saddle. Where is the beautiful one? Let's say it's this one. Yeah. Let's imagine. It's of course not a Slavic traditional saddle and stuff. I just have this painting from 20th century, but whatever. So imagine a beautiful golden or silver saddle and a beautiful bridle, and it would be a sign that now the horse will be the messenger of the god himself. Then make 3 rows of crossed spears stuck into the earth with the points. So like this. You should then pray, because the priest then prayed, and bring the adorned horse to the spear rows. Pay attention with which leg does the sacred horse walk over the spears. If he starts with the right, it's a good sign. If with the left, it's a bad omen. To have a proper good omen for your war, you need to get 3 good readings in a row. It was serious business. There are theories that actually those priests, like many other priests in different times and different places, would manipulate the result of this divination procedure when they wanted or did not want to for the people to go to war. So yeah, we can imagine that too. There is also another version mentioned from another temple. This version goes like this. You lay 9 spears on the ground and lead the horse by the bridle 3 times back and forth. So you'd have like 9 spears laying down on the ground, and he had to walk over them. If he doesn't touch any of the spears with his hoof, the war will be won, and you can start packing your armor now. Except it's good to double check, because the horse divination was only the first part. If you got this right, then you proceeded to the second part, which was drawing lots. The priest then would use 3 wooden sticks. They would be white on one side and black on the other. Then he would throw them into his lap. As a Slavic priest, he was probably wearing like a long robe, so they wouldn't fall from his lap. It is also possible that apart from the paint, the sticks also had carved markings on them, but what they were exactly, we do not know. The lots were called biera, so something taken, something that I'm taking, or bierka is the diminutive. And also the word biera acquired the meaning of fate, later forgotten. Drawing lots was used not only to foretell future, but also to divide the land. That's interesting. When Slavic people arrived to a new place, the land would be divided by drawing lots. The gods themselves would decide who gets what in this way. Another version about drawing lots talks about digging a hole in the earth and throwing the lots there instead of your lap, counting them, and after you were done, you would bury them in the hole, covering it back. So it seems that this double checking that Christian chroniclers described was in fact calling upon both celestial and chthonic deities, receiving messages from these 2 realms that are like, we are between them. So combining those forces together, because digging in the earth clearly marks this is about the underground, the earth. Then, if you were a priest, you could also do divination by, I have my idol back, by checking the alcohol level. So in some temples there were idols holding a sacred horn in their hand that was removable. You could take it out. And there was sacred mead or wine in there. On a holy day, probably after harvest, the priest would check the level of mead or wine in the sacred horn of a god, for example in Arcona, or a goddess, by the Lutisi tribe. If the level of the alcohol was lower than the last time he checked, it was a sign for worse crops next year. So he told people to save some grain. And if the level was the same, it meant great harvests, so people could enjoy the crops they have just gathered and not worry about saving. Then the priest poured the alcohol at the feet of the idol as a libation. He filled the horn again, pretended that he's drinking, and at the same time prayed for prosperity for himself and the people. Then he drank for real, quickly without stopping, and filled it again and put it back to the idol's hand. And lastly, if you would like something that doesn't require you to have a horse or an idol or being a priest, you can try something that women were known to do. We know from the chronicles that this is something that women did. Drawing lines to tell fortunes, like a Slavic woman, sit next to a fire and mindlessly draw lines in the ash. Then count the lines, and even number of lines was a good omen and odd number was a bad one. So first you need to put your mind into this kind of a mindless state, then draw the lines and then refocus again and count them. It seems that counting was a very important part of divination and magic, because words for healing, such as leczyć, I'm using Polish verbs, but it's true for many Slavic languages, in fact. And counting, liczyć, are very close. It is possible that divinatory practices were used in healing rituals as well. Counting the markings or sticks was seen as reading them, because the verb for reading, czytać, originally meant counting too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know how you liked it. If you have any questions and I can answer them, I will happily do so. And thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.